real meaty, big block of a man who would be the black one, the Ayatollah that this prophecy is talking about. So I was quite struck by the emergence of Muqtada al-Sadr, who runs the Jesh al-Mahdi, the army, the militia of the al-Mahdi, which, by the way, is a militia that is primed and trained specifically to fulfill Muhammad's prophecy about the Black Flag Crusade from Khorasan, from Afghanistan and Eastern Persia. This is the army. The al-Mahdi is the name of the 12th Imam, that is the 12th direct genetic descendant of Muhammad, which has been a dispute since the beginning of the Islamic religion between the Sunnah, the people of the mainstream way, and the Shia, which is an abbreviation in Arabic for those who follow the descendants of the direct descendants of Muhammad. They believe that gives that, and it's all a struggle over who is going to be the head of the great community of Islam, the Caliph. And this struggle has led to civil wars, the murder of many, assassinations of many caliphs, the martyrdom, if you will, as the Shia see, of Al-Hassan, the son of anyway, to make a long story short, it's quite complex, and I go into it at great length in the book, in the chapter, The Rise of the Ayatollahs. It goes through the whole history of how they have risen to this point where, through better or worse, through the actions of a crusader army getting bogged down in Mesopotamia, Iraq, we now have the very thing that back in 1986 I warned would happen, a spread of radical Islam out of Iran across westward with the intended desire to take back Jerusalem. Al-Quds, which is the name of the Iranian Republican Revolutionary Guard, the special forces and the SS, if you will, of this extreme Islamic interpretation of a government, of Islamic fundamentalist government in Iran, means Jerusalem in Arabic. That's the term, Al-Quds. So wow. They are the Jerusalem Brigade. They are aiding, arming, and abetting the militias that are expected to be guided by the reemergence of the 12th descendant or caliph in the Shia idea of Islam, of Muhammad, who, and this is why it's so important to understand why things blew up in the Civil War, literally, after the Golden Mosque of Samarra was blown up by the Sunnis, by the Al-Qaeda extremists. This place is where the 12th Imam purportedly disappeared from the earth and is to reappear. So it's almost like if Christians and Jews had a specific place where they expected their Messiah to appear, they would build, of course, a very important temple around it. I mean, it's literally like blowing up the temple on the mount if you're a Shia.
Yes.
That they blew up Samarra. And it started this huge sectarian war.
Let me ask you this question. How can they hope to win without a caliphate? Because, in fact, right now, the battle between the Sunnis and the Shia across the whole Islamic world is more intense than it has been in centuries. And in other words, this is a divided house. So yeah. As a divided house, let me tell you what I'm getting at. I'm not saying that I don't think they can. What's worrying me is I do think they can. But I don't know why I think that, John. I just sense that there is something about Iran that they're actually trying to tempt us into attacking them, and because they have something that we don't know about. How do you respond to that?
Oh well, this is why I felt such an urgency to get that book out and before these actions take place, because what is underpinning all of this potential collision between three powers, Iran, Israel, and America, over Iran and attacking Iran, is all based on a messianic, feverish misinterpretation of the scriptures of three major Western religions, who think they see indications that their Messiah, case of the Shia, the Mahdi, the return of the 12th Imam, who reappears. In the case, I can tell you from my Kabbalistic sources in Jerusalem, there is a fever-pitch interest, and even declarations are being made that the appearance of Emmanuel, the true Messiah, the Jewish Messiah, is upon them, is about to happen. You have the White House, the current government, which is absolutely filled with supernumeraries and assistants that come from some of the most extreme evangelical Christian universities, who absolutely believe in the literal interpretation of apocalyptic literature. For instance, the university that Pat Robertson runs.
Do you think that they might be trying to cause Armageddon, to induce it?
As I said earlier, the Judeo-Christian and Islamic traditions of prophecy have something unique that most other traditions don't have. They politicize openly, in Scripture as well as in reality. There's a dimension that politicizes a prophecy. That is, they see that God is telling them to openly fulfill the steps to make the last step happen. Whereas, native prophets allow things to happen. The Eastern prophets are more laissez-faire about it, just, well, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. There's a very much a participation of the people of the time with their prophecies to do things that will almost encourage God to make it happen. And when you